Ryan and I are back, and so is Joyride. This time it is Joyride Full Throttle. This is a standalone game. If you're familiar with Joyride, the original, there was a lot of different pieces and parts to that came out a couple of years ago. And if you want to learn how to play the base game, because this game plays very, very much like that, it's just got more and new components and some new things going on. Be sure to check out our videos or many, many other videos that are out there on Joyride. Yeah. We will touch on some of that as we talk about the new components, but we wanted to spend today to tell you about what's new in Joyride Full Throttle. And I think there's a few things, but one of the big things, and by that I mean literally big, is a couple new maps. We've got the board here. You can see on the top down, it fills the top down camera here. This is one side, and then the other side is sort of a beachfront. The beach one is a little more sort of open than this one.
But you're gonna versus the abandoned mall, which is what we have here.
Yeah, so there's two different maps, but there are, I think, up to about 20 different tracks, depending on how you set this up. We've got this one set up in kind of a, I don't know if it's a figure eight.
It's almost like, it's basically like a figure eight.
It definitely crisscrosses.
Well, I mean, the thing about Joyride, if you have never played the original, is like you are racing around this track trying to hit these checkpoints in a specific order, but not necessarily in a specific direction. So as long as you're hitting the 1, the 2, and the 3 in the background in that order, ideally, I think it does make kind of a figure eight. But, you know,
sure. Ideally,
the fun of Joyride is that you're knocking into each other, you're blowing people up, you're causing explosions, people are spinning out. So the idea that you're going to make that clean figure eight every time on this particular map is kind of a dream.
Yeah, and particularly when you add in a lot of the new things that are going on here. So in addition to the maps, this is going to take the game to a point where you can play with up to 6 players. So before it was, I think, just up to 4, and now you can play 5 or 6 players, and it takes team mode to a play where you can play 2v2, V2. Yeah, which I never played team mode in the original.
I didn't either. So I think this is a new team mode for this game. It's called like super fan mode. Yeah, you've got these fans, and the goal is to deliver the fans to the finish line. But the fans are going to get jostled. They're going to get knocked onto the board. Other players can pick them up, drive them other places, kick them out of the car. So I think that's a kind of a cool way to do a team-based mode. It's like an objective-based mode rather than just a straight-up race.
Yeah, it is got a little bit more flavor to it for sure. The other thing, of course, is there's new cars. There's new teams, if you will. You've got 6 more. I can't remember how many are in the original with all of the expansions and whatnot. But this one has 6 more. We've got 2 set up here. I'm kind of like the drifter. I'm kind of the most straightforward of the new characters for sure. Because my powers are clutch control, drift, need for speed. They're all very much what you'd expect. This particular racer doesn't come with extra components, but some of the racers do actually have extra components.
Yeah, and I don't remember if the base game's drivers were all kind of pop culture references, but in this one, they all are. Like, that's very much like a Fast and the Furious style. Yes. I don't know if I can say this without... It's Bob's Burgers over here. I got a food truck. If you look in the rearview mirror, you've got, like... They're kind of jokey. Like, they're kind of referenced.
It's a food truck anyway.
It's a food truck, and it has the ketchup mechanic, where I can spend my ketchup to move a little farther. I like the other move is called extra mustard, and then greasy wheels, which fits. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, and a couple of the other characters. I mean, here are all the different player boards. One in particular that I thought was funny. The character, what was the name of this character?
Oh, yeah, Rico Cortado. And he's got, his little friend is his dog.
Yes, it's a little pug.
A little pug.
And he comes with a little pug piece that they use in the game that no one else has anything like that, which, again, I really don't remember if there's a lot of extra components with.
No, not like this. I mean, maybe a little bit, but the fact that he has his dog, the little friend, and what's the ability? Say hello?
Well, he has say hello as ability. It says place the little friend token in your rear arc. What a rush. Before moving, change the value of a rolled die to a higher value. Yep. Can you see a theme here? And then just a bump. Use when you would resolve a collision. Steer instead of resolving the collision, and then lose any remaining movement.
I think that inspiration is very... clear there.
I think it's pretty clear.
And then the other one I wanted to talk about that I thought was cool was the van lifers. These are guys that travel around, social media influencers that live in their van. It's cool. You've got your photo op, you've got sponsored content, and edit that out. So I mean, things that we're very familiar with, close to home.
Speaking of sponsored content, sponsored by Rebellion on Play today.
And then Mall Cop was the other one.
Yeah, Mall Cop.
And then the delivery driver.
Yeah, the delivery driver was able to shoot the packages.
Yeah, he has a big package cannon. So like, you know, the idea that some of these items, like we have some new items here, and then some of the items can explode and do some damage. He can use any item as an explosive item and shoot it out at you. So basically he's loading packages in the form of items into his gun and shooting them off the top of his delivery van, which is pretty cool.
And speaking of the items, that's one of the last things we want to talk about. There's, I think, six new items here to cover, and we'll give you that detail just so you know what's going on here. We've got the volley bomb. When this hits a car, barrier, or obstacle, it explodes. The first time this would hit a barrier, car, or obstacle, you may instead fire it in another direction from this space. So it's a bouncy bomb.
Yeah, it bounces and then explodes. I've got the dumbbell. I like this one. Whenever you enter the space with the dumbbell, you shove it one space, but you reduce your speed. Any remaining movement gets reduced by 1. So it's kind of slowing you down as you run into the dumbbell.
Yeah, and then the wrench kind of works in 2 different ways. The wrench is going to, when it hits a car, it can shift a gear up, shift a gear down. So you can kind of use this to, I mean, all these things are going to effectively inject chaos.
Sure.
When you use one, you're the one who knows that it's what it's going to do. Others don't. But it can take damage, it can repair damage, that sort of thing. So it's kind of flexible. And then I've got marbles. At the end of a move in which you entered this space, roll an unused player die and pivot your car that many times in the same direction.
Spin it out.
Yeah,
marbles.
very, very cool.
Then I had Thumper, which I like. Thumper is a giant boxing glove that's going to sit out on the board somewhere. If you run into the Thumper, it's like you collided with another car.
Yeah,
so basically. It just basically pops out and punches you. And then Nitro is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nitro gives you these 2 dice to roll, and they can add to your movement. They can move you up to 8 total.
What else can they do?
But if you roll a lightning bolt, your car explodes. So you giving it too much Nitro, it can cause an explosion. I think the combination of new cars and new items are what people are here for. But I want to go back to the maps too, because we talked about the fact that you can run different tracks on the different maps. Even that's going to come with some new types of tiles that are going to go out on the board.
Yeah, there are some portals. You have the portals over there. These kind of act like the checkpoints. When you go through a portal, you're going to teleport to the other portal. Now, there are some rules with how if the front end of your car goes in or if the back end goes in, of course, because if you get hit and your back end happens to like slide around into a portal,
you still come out the other side.
You come out the other side. Again, I mean, if you've not played the original JOYRIDE and you're getting a sense where you're thinking like, this sounds crazy.
Yeah,
it is. And that is the fun of the game for sure.
Yeah, and then they have 2 new obstacles. And these are going to kind of be the arrangement we have here. It's all in the book. It shows you how to arrange these obstacles. And these are kind of double-sided, but there's 2 types of obstacles. There's trolleys and there's these tires. When you run into the tires, you just bounce off, which is pretty cool. So like if you do hit a tire, you actually get to keep going. You get to continue your turn, but you spin out. So if you remember from the base game, you only get to change your direction at very specific times. So if you're going pretty fast, you run into a tire, you pivot, you're going that direction. You don't necessarily get a choice there.
Yeah, this is, it's not necessarily a demolition derby, but it definitely
feels like
has that sort of demolition derby vibe. And speaking of demolishing things, these pieces, these are like the pieces from the original game. They have these nice wooden car pieces. I actually like these quite a bit.
I've always liked those, yeah.
I think there's a lot of people when the original came out, they're like, oh, miniatures. Well, guess what? There are going to be miniatures in the new campaign. So if you want something other than this, they've got nice miniatures that represent the artwork very, very well. Again, I'm on the fence. I really kind of came to enjoying this, and I really like how they work in terms of filling the space and determining how it's fishtailing around and turning.
Yeah, I mean, the miniatures are going to take up the same number of heads. Like, they're roughly the same size. They just have that depth to them and the full sculpt. And they're also, of course, in the player colors to make it a little easy.
Now, painted miniatures. Maybe I'll get some and paint them.
If you could paint them.
Or I'll hire someone to paint them because I would really want them to look exactly like the artwork. But anyway, that is JOYRIDE Full Throttle. If you have any questions at all about it, please make them in the comments below. We'll get down there and answer whatever we can. Until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.